Here's the agenda. Lots of stories and demos in this. At the end we'll have some time. So, introductions. As for me, I'm Kevin Clift, and I got some hair put in. Actually, Kevin recently left Microsoft. He's not here. Big X on him. FOMO all the way, right? We've talked to him yesterday, and I tell you what, he's really regretting not being here and regretting that he let me do this all by myself. But anyway, you know what? You feel really. Let me get this ready here. If you do me a favor, on a count of 3, I want you to your lungs. Ready? Everybody yell, "Good luck, Kevin!" All right. I'll send that off to him, and he will get a good kick out of it, for sure. As for me, my name's Scott. I'm a former roadie turned propeller head. I toured with all the big bands that you've ever heard of in the early 90s. I've got 7 patents to my name, 3 provisional patents as well. None of it relates directly to computers and what we're doing here, but okay. Oops, let's go back. I hit the wrong button. I'm a former high school teacher. I decided for 4.5 years. It's my dream job. CW is a great different positions. I love teaching. When the lights go on, I think that's just absolutely great when I see the lights go on when I'm talking to people, what I'm talking about. On the personal side, I've been married for 33 years. I have 2 great kids, Levi. When maybe they were out on vacation or something like this, it doesn't really matter. But that was my grandfather that did that. I'm from Estes Park, Colorado, a little mountain town. So we want to our sponsors here, Audio Codes, Momentum, Landis, Call Cabinet, Scipio. All of this stuff here would not be possible without them that are out there. Go visit them, hit them up, buy their stuff. I don't have to put this slide in, but I do. These are the 4 organizers of Comms vNext. 8 or 9 years ago, they had this vision of doing Comms vNext, and I think it's a great vision going forward. 3 years ago, Kevin and I had an idea to start with a security focus on them. And we decided to put in to do some workshops here. Because of that, the workshops that Kevin and I have done, YouTube for all of one has, I think, 5,000 views on it. The other one has. That wouldn't have been possible without these four guys here. So, anybody that has been watching Kevin and I, there we go. All right. Now, we're going to go back in our time machine here for a minute, and we are going to look at 2023. The scary numbers. 65 trillion threat signals were analyzed every day. 37 billion of those were blocked in 2023. 70 billion attacks were. Let's go to last year. It gets worse. Last year, attack signals were processed by Microsoft. 4,000 password attacks. Attacks were blocked in 2023. 8,500 dedicated security engineers. Let's go take a look at this year. Now being monitored. 90 attacks a day. 7,000 password attacks every second of the day. And 19 billion attacks were blocked. And 1,000 billion point come from all these threat signals? Well, 200 million monthly. Current threat landscape, 91% of cyber attacks start with email, according to a trend. Sonic wall, same numbers, 90% start with email. The cyber attacks start with collaboration platforms. That's number 2. So it's email and collaboration platforms that are being attacked all the time. Some other Microsoft numbers for you. 100 million paid Office 365 seats. 320 million active Teams users. Active Teams PSTN users. The number 1 used platform in the world right now. Number one. What can we expect from the bad guys? Now, once an attacker is in your environment, they're going to automate a way to find your vulnerable, your weak spots. I can't say the word. And then they're a way to exploit all those weak spots, and they're going to use AI to do that as well. They're going to try and get in. Anybody take a guess? 7.5 minutes. Yeah, we change our passwords every 30 days or whatever, but most people change their password and just add a number on to the end of it. Levi 1, 2, 3, 4. Next year it's Levi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get it? It's easy to pick up on. Then they're going to do some social phishing, and this is going to be targeted at kinds of information. They've looked at your documents already, and they know that some people are like headsets, for example, or some people are CEOs. You know you're fine. Somewhere, shut everything down. Okay? And command and control at the very end. They're going to take control over your environment. There's not going to be much you can do about it unless you want to restore everything from backups and stuff like that. So security is a cat and mouse game. The mouse is running all around inside your environment, trying to poke this and trying to look at that. And the cat is trying to put his hand on the mouse all the time. But the cat has to think ahead, catch the mouse, because that's in your environment. So how do we start? I'll tell you here in a minute. 40% of phishing emails are AI generated. Out of those AI generated emails, 60% are successful. A huge success rate right there. And scammers are now using AI voice cloning How long does it take? Scammers from tricking. Happens all the time. It happened to me 2 weeks ago. How do we become the cat with superpowers? We need to be able to predict and put on the mouse. Converged application server. A big mouthful. Has anybody ever heard of this? No? Okay. It's a set that will sit between your SBC and Teams in this case. And it'll do multiple different things. It'll do 16 different things, okay? Call recording, some other things, but we're going to talk about the 3 things related to security here. First of all, call filtering. The Converged application server will tell the SBC to look to secure logics or Mutare to see if that is on a block list. If it is, if it's automatically. That's one way. How can we talk about call branding for you as well? Using, again, secure logic or assertion, for example. During the call, it can analyze all that's going on. The person that you're talking to on the other end is a real person, that it's not AI. It can find all this stuff out for you within a matter of a couple of minutes. And it finds your AI or phishing or very at the end. Some fairly new technique coming out from. What's Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence? A bunch of Microsoft stuff put together, and Microsoft has analyzed all these threat signals and what they do and how they do it and stuff like this. Let's talk about in Microsoft helping these products put together into one single dashboard, and you can see exactly what's going on in one converged location. Defender, Purview, Priva, Intune, signals from all of these different kinds of things in the dashboard. It's also AI powered, by the way. Why do we need AI? Keep ahead of the bad guys. Absolutely. The bad guys are using AI against you. And if you're not using AI against them, you're behind the curve. Bottom line. Oh, but Scott, I've got alerts coming here that something happened. That's by the time you get that, you need something to. Let's go take a look at the anatomy of EvilGinx server. Does anybody know what an EvilGinx server is? A couple of people do. Very good. So an EvilGinx server will sit between the user long. Attacker, convincing attack. In our first demo here, I did not use AI. My bad. You'll get the point anyway. The attacker is going to send out a Teams message. The unsuspecting user is going to log on, and the attacker is going to capture the token and use it. And it doesn't matter if you're using MFA or not. Once the attack happens, called a business email compromise attack. They're going to set up email forwarding and inbox rules to mask attacks. And then we're going to send out an email asking for some invoices to be paid. Okay? So, before we get into taking a look at this, I need some volunteers. And I'm volunteering 2 people from my team here at CDW. Stephanie, come on forward. Stephanie, you are an accountant. Okay? On your accounting glasses. Yes, I even brought props here. Go ahead. TK, you're up. You're the bad guy. I need one other person to help me out. Who wants to help out? Okay, I'll take you. Go over there and have a seat right over there and sip on your coffee. So what does the attacker look like? You guys are all sitting there typing stuff. Okay? The attacker sends a Teams message to Stephanie. Yes, this is TK, and TK is number 1, by the way. What does it look like? Let's take a look. TK just simply sends a Teams message over to Stephanie. Hey, we're giving out headsets. Do you want one? Click here. Basically what it says. It was a little fast. I apologize for that. Stephanie answers back to TK and falls for the bait. Hey, thanks, TK. I need a new headset. Stephanie likes headsets. It messes up her head. And here she signs in. Over here on the right is an EvilGinx server. Let's see what's going on over there. You see we're getting some signals there. Stephanie logs in. Puts in her password. At this point, I've captured her password. MFA, doesn't matter. Stephanie's now into the environment here. Okay, I could have put other forms and stuff behind that. Doesn't matter for this presentation, though. You get the idea of what's going on. From TK's perspective, what happens here? Let's take a quick look. What did EvilGinx capture? Type in sessions down here. We can see Stephanie's username and password right there. I want to know more about that session, though. So I'm going to call it sessions, and then I'm going to say 10 in this case. For session number, that's her authentication token right there. I have it. It doesn't matter with MFA or not. The attacker's going to access EvilGinx, get Stephanie's authentication token, and log into OA. Watch how easy this is. There's EvilGinx on the right, or on the left. OA's on the right. All we have to do is copy this, put it into a cookie editor. We got to import it there. Import that cookie and refresh. That's it. We're now logged on as Stephanie. If you don't believe me, let's take a look over here in the corner. That simple. So, what happens after the attacker's already in? Does some malicious stuff. PK's a malicious guy. He's doing bad things. Let's take a look. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some information. Now, normally this would all be automated, but look at that. I just found this company. Now I'm going to set up some inbox rules. One's going to forward all of Stephanie's email to me. The other one's going to delete all of the email from Patty Fernandez to cover the attacker's tracks. Now I'm going to send an email to Patty saying, hey, this invoice has got to be paid right now. I'm going to put my banking account information. What money? Not my account, by the way. And yes, you can all make fun of me because my typing is absolutely horrendous. Banking information is routing number. Please wire the money ASAP. Thanks. Stephanie. Send. The attack's done. Okay? Let's have a big round of applause here for TK and Stephanie. Not our guy. You got back there still. Vendor XDR comes in. That's right. By the way, Copilot generated all the pictures. Okay? The attacker accessed OA. Gathered information. Sets up email forwarding. Sets up inbox rules to mask the attack. Sends emails to ask for invoices to be paid. Business email compromise, remember? Defender XDR noticed it. They shut it down. How fast? Oh, and Stephanie got logged out. If it was on her computer, if we showed on a computer as well, the firewalls would have gone up on her computer as well. So the firewalls would let the computer only talk to Microsoft. Isolates the computer, isolates the user automatically. And your IT guy became a superhero, and guess what? He didn't even finish his cup of coffee over there. How fast did it take for him to be a superhero? On the average of 3 minutes. Big round of applause for our IT guy. How far down? Within 3 minutes. Okay, it's start with XDR. It takes 14 days for analyze the traffic in your environment. Okay. No, Stephanie doesn't normally set up inbox rules or email the CEO. It knows all of this kind of stuff. It gathers all that information, and when it starts seeing some things, it starts listening more. Okay? And then finally, when something's happening that definitely fits the profile, shuts it down. Okay? But wait, there's Defender for Office 365 as well. Remember, there's safe links, safe attachments for Teams. Why didn't they work? And I demoed this in my CDX tenant. Again, those databases on Microsoft's back end did not get updated for my DNS names that I put out there. I can put out a DNS name and have EvilGinx set up in a couple 30 minutes. Okay? That's not a fast enough time for Microsoft to update all that stuff. Where does Sentinel fit in? Sentinel is both a SIEM and a SOAR. It gathers information from firewalls, from other cloud applications like Google and Salesforce, and Defender XDR. Well, so Sentinel lets you look at third-party stuff, take action on the third-party things, not just Windows and identity. Okay? Why is that necessary? Take a look. We've got some SBCs here. Why would you want to send your logs to a SIEM? Well, let's think about that for a minute. This was a real attack that happened. The user was in a hospital, recovering from surgery from a day before, and somebody called the user and said, "I'm from patient services. There's a problem with your account. We need some information from you." Guy's all drugged up, gives him the information. Guess what? Pretty easy attack. Then, same number calls somebody else in the hospital. Okay? Forwarding all of that information up to a SIEM lets you see what's going on. Knowing that, and know that that phone number, at that point, making all those phone calls is kind of unusual. At that point, I can tell Defender XDR to have teams block the phone number. Okay? What about phones? What about phones? Say you have an old version of Android. And now all of a sudden you're noticing, because you port all the logs up to the SIEM, that there are a lot of outbound phone calls going to Iraq or Afghanistan or some other place, Russia, China, whatever. Okay? Now you know about it. Whereas before, those logs are going to sit on that phone. And you're going to wonder, why is my phone bill so high? Teams rooms, same kind of thing. Algo speakers. Okay? You can port all that information up in Sentinel. There's been a 107% increase on attacks of IoT devices last year. Okay? 161 daily attacks against building control systems. All your stuff that's your front door. Lots of attacks going to go on those. So, we mentioned algo devices. How many people have visited the algo booth out front? Y'all familiar with what algo does? They've got some really, really cool stuff. And I got a bunch of algo gear the other day, and I put it all up in my lab. The first thing I did with it was a contact closure thing. And I hooked a contact closure up to my algo speaker. Pressed the button, I made it say, "Danger, Will Robinson, danger, danger," you know. And I got thinking of some other applications for this. And I ported the logs up to a syslog server. I was pretty proud of myself because I didn't know anything about syslog servers. And I got to thinking some more after I went to sleep that night about what else could be done with this. Let's take a quick look. Here's the case. You're in a school. Somebody stole a teacher's. Kid's looking around, finds the account for your paging system. Okay? Starts paging people. Billy, come to the office. Goes to the SIEM. The syslog server then sends this up to Sentinel. Sentinel, you put one together to see exactly what's being paged. And if this is a normal thing for this particular user to be paged, Runbook tells Defender XDR to shut down the where the computer is at the time. Sure, all going to be sitting in the logs. Okay, so 3 years ago, we have all before we could take automatic bad guys. Okay, but still, none of this supersedes so 3 years ago, Kevin and I talked about the Teams attack simulator. Some of you might remember it. We're going to go through that one more time here. And yes, it's still on the books to be released. I don't know when. It's been in private preview for 3 years. Thanks. 3 years ago, it was supposed to be released in the summertime. Okay. So let's go we'll go back in our time machine here, and we'll listen to Kevin talking about the Teams attack simulator here and what's going on with this.
If you pull up simulations in your tenant today, and you launch an attack simulation, you don't see this option, right? You bypass this. But in this tenant that's hooked up to the private preview of the Teams attack simulator, I'm going to click on Microsoft Teams. I'm going to go next. I have a bunch of different options on how I want to attack my users. Okay, very quick demo. I'm just going to keep it at this. Again, they're after identity. That's what they're after. Username and passwords so they can log in as Scott, log in as me, and start moving laterally through environments. So credential harvest. I'm going to go through this. I'll give it a name. Test. Go to next. Oh, I've got to select an account. Apologize, I've already got Scott. Scott's an admin on this tenant. I've selected him. He is the sender of this simulation. Okay, I'm going to choose a payload. I'm not going to show you, interest of time, on how I created this. There were a couple steps involved here. I'll go next. I'm going to target for Adele. I'm going to get Adele again. All right, let's go here. Find Adele. There's Adele. Add her. Say next. I'm not going to exclude anyone. I'm going to assign training. If you click on that link, I want you to take some training about it. Let's click on next. Here's a bunch of different landing templates on what happens when someone clicks on this. Here's just a preview of what that would look like, and we'll see this live in a few minutes. Right? There's a couple of different options in here, and then you can actually modify these if you like, or create your own custom one. Okay, so there's that. Get it in English. Keep on going with next. I want to do I'll take the default notification. I've got to select on these Microsoft default policy reinforcement notification. So a couple of us in the room work for Microsoft. We were spammed last week as part of the attack simulator. If you picked up on that and you reported it as spam, you got an email right away saying, hey, congratulations. Not only did you recognize it as spam, but you reported it too. That's positive reinforcement. I'm like Pavlov's dog or something, I guess, all of a sudden. Anyway, on here, I'll keep it there. Oh gosh, I wish that were bigger there. I'm going to deliver it during a campaign. And here, I'm going to remind that person to take their training twice a week. I'll go next. I'm going to launch this as soon as I'm done here. I'll go next and submit. All right. So, Ron and Scott here in this profile. I'm going to bring over Adele. Watch this. It's still submitting here in the background. Simulation has been scheduled. Give it about 30 seconds. Should come through. And then I'll go ahead and click on the link, and you'll see what happens then from there on out. if you pull up simulations in your tenant today, and you launch an attack simulation, you don't see this option, right? You bypass this. But in this tenant that's hooked up to the private preview of the Teams attack simulator, I'm going to click on Microsoft Teams. I'm going to go next. I have a bunch of different options on how I want to attack my users. Okay, very quick demo. I'm just going to keep it at this. Again, they're after identity. That's what they're after. Username and password so they can log in as Scott, log in as me, and start moving laterally through environments. So credential harvest. I'm going to go through this. I'll give it a name. Test. Go to next. Oh, I've got to select an account. Apologize, I've already got Scott. Scott's an...
So, in a nutshell, that's the Teams attack simulator. Let's give a big round of applause for Kevin for not being here. He's going to get a big kick out of this. We've been razzing him all day yesterday and all day as well. He's going to really hate his decision for not coming. So, summary. Microsoft's the most attacked company in the world. Hackers are using AI to come after you. You've got to use AI to defend yourself. Bottom line. Hackers will spend anywhere from a few minutes to a few hundred days in your environment. The average time is about 7.5 hours. Okay? Oh, and by the way, how many people here have budgets card to somebody for $5, a free cup of coffee? Okay? For maybe the first 100 people that acknowledge that they got an attack. It's a big, powerful tool to use. Okay? The average ransomware attack costs $1.4 million. How does that rack up to spending maybe $1,000 a year on Starbucks gift cards? We've learned about the anatomy of an attack. Abilities to disrupt automatically. But the best protection is still user education. Why is that? Because humans can reason and they can see what's going on. Anybody got anything for me? Okay then. Thank you very much.